Good morning, everyone. It's our immense pleasure to have with us Dr. Gouranga Biswas with us. Sir is Senior Scientist, ICAR-Central Institute of Fishery Education, Kolkata Center. And the topic chosen for deliberation is brackish water, aquaculture technologies, and their contribution to blue economy. Sir, you are audible as well as visible, and your presentation is also visible. Please start, sir.
Okay, good morning all. Uh, this is Dr. Biswas from CIP Kolkata Center. So, thank you, West Bengal University of Animal and Fishery Sciences and the co-organizer NADCL for giving me this opportunity for taking this lecture on Brackishwater aquaculture technologies and their contribution to the blue economy. So my lecture contents will be like this: status of Brackishwater aquaculture in India, then its contribution to the Indian economy, then various cultivable Brackishwater species, crustaceans and fishes, Brackishwater crustacean culture technologies, Brackishwater fish culture technologies, and then the cutting edge technologies like periphyton based Brackishwater aquaculture, integrated multi-trophic aquaculture, then Brackishwater ornamental fishes, and then concluding. So let me share some of the data and information on Brackishwater aquaculture in India. As we know, what is brackish water? We generally classify the water based on the salinity or the content of the salt in the water. So brackish water is a typically adjoining area of sea and the river, where generally those areas, coastal areas, where the soil, the water salinity is 0.5 to 30 gram per liter. So it is also called as PPT, parts per thousand. So we have in India around 1.2 billion coastal brackish water resource, and nowadays there are huge area is becoming spoiled, affected in inland areas, different states like northern states and western states, and it is around 9 million hectare, huge resource. And then brackish water sector also growing quite a good growth rate, 10% annually, and the major commodity is shrimp. So different species of shrimps are there, and shrimp at currently the production is around 7.5 lakh ton. But there are various fish species who is contributing around 10 to 20% of the production. So fish is yet to grow fish culture in Brackishwater aquaculture system. So this is the present status of the shrimp production or shrimp area under culture in India. You can see that Andhra Pradesh Andhra Pradesh is topping the list, and then West Bengal. But the recent developing state like Gujarat, it is also developing very high rate, and Gujarat, you can see their area under culture is not that much, only around 10,000 hectare, but they are producing at around 7 ton per hectare rate, more than 7 tons. So their production is also good. Um, so when we look into the Brackish-water aquaculture sectors and its contribution to the Indian economy, the major commodity is the frozen shrimp. Uh, in terms of value, it is around 70 to 70%, 75%, but in terms of the quantity, it is around half of the total exported quantity, around 6 lakhs, 6.5 lakh ton. And another things are also there from brackish water system. Live items like crabs are also exported. So India scenario, total export, it is around in value around presently around 47,000 crore annually, out of which the shrimp is the major commodity, as I told. And this export it is accounting around 5.2% share of the agricultural GDP of India. So in the brackish-water sector, what are the species mostly farmed? Let me share about the crustaceans first. Uh, Phineas monodon, as we know, this is the Indian tiger shrimp, which has been our mainstay of the brackish-water aquaculture system till some 10 to 12 years back. Another species, our native species, Indian white shrimp, Phineas indicus. Then Phineas venami, which is an exotic species, Pacific white leg shrimp. It has taken over the system now, and it is being cultured widely all over world and India. And then other crustacean mud crabs. And there are two commercially important mud crabs, Scylla serrata and Scylla olivacea. So, what are the fishes are available for brackish-water aquaculture? This is the Asian shibas, the lattice calcarifer. Uh, it is an euryhaline species, but it is highly carnivorous and predatory fish, and it has very high demand for in domestic as well as export market with very high price. Then another species which is mostly the herbivorous species, the milkfish, Chanus, and it is available all over the southern coast of India and also the Southeast Asian countries. It is now taking up, being given important for brackish water species diversification. Another species is Mugilocephalus, the striped grey mullet. It has also very good market price. Then another species, the pearl spot, Ectroplas suratensis, and it has good price in market, especially in southern state and Kerala. Uh, Another species is spotted scat. This is also a brackish water fish, and it has both ornamental and food purpose. It can be utilized. Let us talk about brackish water culture technologies, crustacean culture technologies, which are the mainstay of the brackish water sector. So first, I will touch upon Phineas venami culture following better management practices. So in background, brackish water aquaculture, how it evolved and originated in India. First, brackish water experimental fish farm was established in at Kagdi by Central Indian Fisheries Institute in 1973. And from 1975, there was an all India coordinated research project on brackish water aquaculture by ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. So shrimp aquaculture was the main thrust in that project, along with the polyculture of fishes and shrimp. And that time, our native species Phineas monodon was given the thrust. But from last decade, from 2009-10 onwards, the exotic species which has taken all the major share all over the world, which is Phineas venami. This species also initially, after several activities or trials, it has been introduced in India also. Uh, this is a native species from Mexico and America, Southern America, and commonly known as white leg shrimp. And it can tolerate wide range of salinity as well as temperature, and it grows faster till they attain 20 gram. And presently, it is the most widely cultivated species in the world. So, what is the genesis of Phineas venami culture in India? Since 1995, our native species Phineas monodon culture was affected by white spot syndrome virus, a viral braided viral disease. After that, farmers also are looking for an alternative. Then government of India took initiative to introduce Phineas venami. In 2003, it was permitted for import and culture on a pilot scale, and then 2007, a risk analysis study was undertaken by SIBA, then jointly with SIBA and National Bureau of Fish Genetic Resources of ICAR. And from 2008, the committee was constituted to draft a specific guidelines for this shrimp culture. So from 2009, this species was permitted by coastal aquaculture authorities, and they formulated guidelines for this species culture. So presently, Indian scenario of India's venami culture is like this. The production increased around 7.1 lakh ton per year, and it is gradually increasing. If you look at the data from 2014-15 to 2019-20, so area coverage also increasing. Last in between 1 year it was down, but again it is creeping up. If we see the scenario in West Bengal, mostly there is three coastal states, out of which East Midnapur is the major district, which are doing scientific shrimp farming at present with 3,500 hectare area coverage. But slowly South 24 Parganas and North 24 Parganas also coming up. But the resource-wise, these two Parganas districts are resourceful. Although they in North 24 Parganas, the more than 70% is our traditional ready. Their scientific farming, in true sense, it is difficult. So production also in West Bengal increasing Phineas venami. Presently, it is around 31,000 ton production, and Phineas venami is farmed around 80 to 90% area of the scientific shrimp culture area. So, shrimp culture, as you know, it requires several biosecurity measures, and the culture is they should follow the best management practices. Otherwise, there is a high chance that there will be infection of viral diseases. So, for that, several steps are followed. Mostly starting from farm like protection with fencing, then bird fencing, then water is taken. It is mostly and predominantly this one is zero water exchange system. First water is disinfected, then separate implements are used for each pond, and for bigger farm more than 5 hectare, there should be effluent treatment system. Uh, Uses of mainly the feed and the seed from reputed certified companies, and proper record should be maintained for this culture. So I am coming to the several steps. So what are the followed in BMPs? Mostly the first start, it starts with the pond preparation, and the pond first it is dried and exposed to sunlight, and the bottom soil, if it is black soil is there, those are to be removed. After that, after testing the soil pH, when soil is acidic, we should correct the soil with the application of lime. So different doses are used based on the soil pH, and various types of liming materials are there: dolomite, limestone powder, or quicklime. So those are applied in the pond bottom after drying. Then this kind of bird fencing should be installed to prevent entry of bird, and also the pond or the farm should be fenced with net, so that crabs should not come or any other animals which from outside they should not come enter the farm or pond as a carrier of the virus. And also at the entry of the farm, there should be food bath like this with 5 ppm potassium permanganate. So then after the next step is water intake. Water generally is taken through different mesh net, and 4 steps is better to filter the water to fill pond. Then after water filling, the water level should be more than 1.5 meter and above, 1.2 meter and above. And then first the water is left for 2 days for settlement. Then we should sterilize the water with the bleaching powder at a chlorine level of 20 ppm. Then it is left for 4 to 5 days, and after that there should be application of organic juice, which is fermented material which is prepared using jaggery, then rice bran and yeast. After that, the next day, soil and water probiotics are applied. Then after 2 days, it is left. Then dolomite is applied. After that, again one more organic juice application is done and left for 2 to 3 days. Then stocking of post larvae is done. And generally, the post larvae of PL10 and above is good. This is the organic juice preparation method for 1 hectare area. Generally, paddy flour of 60 kg is taken with 20 kg molasses and then 5 kg yeast. Then it is mixed with fresh water or tap water with 200 liter. Water is mixed, then incubated for 48 hours in airtight condition with closed lid. After that, after 48 hours, it is mixed, sieved, and that liquid is applied all through the pond. Another things is done. The sufficient aeration is provided in the pond, and generally, when the biomass of the pond is beyond 2000 kg per hectare, then for each 300 to 400 kg there should be 1 HP aerator. And aerator, another important thing, aerator should be placed properly, like in a zigzag manner in the pond, so that the proper circulation of the all through the water column and water spread area should be there. Then seed selection and stocking, and another important step. Uh, Generally, it is recommended for a pond or farm. For a pond, the stocking should be complete from the same batch of seed, and reputed seeds from hatchery should be taken, and they should be certified seeds with specific pathogens free, and better more than 10 like PL10, postal B10 and above, it is better to stock. And seed quality is also checked. How is their health? Generally, in a bowl, they are put, and then the water is circulated rapidly. And if the most of the PLs are concentrated at the center, it means the seeds are weak, and this seed may have poor survival. So, like that, the quality of seed is tested, and sometimes there are other several methods. Formalin test is also done with this for the quality checking of the seed. So, like this, the acclimatization of seeds are done. First, The seeds come in polythene oxygen pack. Then for acclimatization, those are floated in the pond water, generally in cool hours of the day, early morning or evening time is better for stocking. And after some times, 1 hour, if there is no salinity difference of the polypack and pond water, then those are gradually released to the water. And as per the Coastal Aquaculture Authority, the P for Peneus vanami, the stocking density is 60 numbers per meter square. For Peneus monoton, it is 30 number per meter square. That is the maximum level you can go. After that, feeding is important. There are different methods of feeding, and generally, first month, it is up to 145 days. It is like blind feeding kind of things. There are some already standardized method how much feed per 1 lakh PL should be there. Based on the days, it is adjusted. Then after 45 to 50 days, based on the biomass, the feed is provided. So daily ration is calculated. There is an equation, stocking density, stock total number, then mean body weights, then assume survival, and then biomass of the feed, how much rate we are taking. So like that, the feed is calculated. So this feeding management is very important because for Peneus vanami or shrimp culture, feed is one of the costliest inputs. So for feed management, there are several important steps one should, those who are doing, they should follow. Generally, good quality feed and daily ration is divided into four equal meals during daytime, starting from morning 6 o'clock to evening hours. Then there should be check tray also for per hectare minimum six number check tray should be there at different places of the pond to check and how much feed they are taking. Then 40 during molting, major molting, if molting is there, feed is reduced to 50%. And also during heavy shower or rainfall, the feeding should be avoided. And pellet size is also important based on the size of the shrimp. So these are the important steps for feed management. And monitoring is also important. And freshly purchased or freshly procured feed is generally used. So, water quality management is another important aspect for shrimp culture, and generally appropriate water pH, optimum pH is 7.5 to 8.5, and if there is fluctuation, that will cause the physiological disturbance to the shrimp. And so then harvesting. Harvesting is done completely by draining the pond. First, reduced the water is column is reduced for half or two-third of the water. After that, by netting is around 90% seems come by netting and drag netting in India's in pond. And after that, the complete harvesting will be done by uh, draining, water drying. Then these harvested stream are immediately iced, or sometimes they are chill killed. The water is provided with ice, then the streams are put into the water, and then those are iced in individual carton and then sent to the processing unit. Now I am coming to the mud crab. Mm. So there are two commercially important mud crabs in our Indian coast. Green mud crab, Skyla serrata. Recently, 2 years back, the nomenclature has been changed. Skyla serrata, now it is green mud crab, and the orange mud crab, that is Skyla olivicea. Skyla serrata is the faster growing one compared to the green orange mud crab, Skyla olivicea. The Sundarban area, the generally the orange muskrat is predominantly found, but green mud crab is mostly found in southern state. So this is the male and female to differentiate. If you look at the genital flap, for male it is very slender, for female it is broad. So for crab culture, this sexing is important because, as we know, the gravid crab which developed ovary faces very high price. So the exported crab mostly which go to for export market, mostly our major market China, because for their New Year during November, December, crab is a delicacy to them. So major live crabs are exported to China, and the gravid female is highly priced one. Crab culture can be done in pond with monoculture system, but the pond should be provided with lots of hideouts. Like it is generally as a pipe, you can say cemented pipe or the plastic pipe cut into 1 feet size and 5 to 6 inch dia pipes. Because as you know, crabs grow by molting crabs and shrimp, and for the crab there will be territorial behavior and cannibalism. So the strong or hard crab, they will cannibal on the molded one, which are very soft in nature. So they like that the survival will be very less if we don't put hideouts. In pond system, generally 1.5 piece per meter square maximum density is kept, and in pond system up to 60% survival is received. And the feed is mostly the trash fish, and also formulated feed can be provided. Crab can be in pond system can be cultured with the other fishes and shrimp also. So I will come to that in later stages also. Then another other systems of crab culture are monosex culture, which will minimize the aggressive behavior, and then several studies have shown that monoculture or monosex culture of female or male increases survival compared to the mixed sex culture. And also, as I told that the gravid female faces a higher price, so the farmer can go for monosex, all female culture also. Then crab fattening also another way. Soft shell crab, then soft shell crab means just molded crab. Those can be cultured separately for few days, 30 days, 1 month for getting its shell hardened. So recent development in crab culture is box culture. So it is individual crab box. Only single crab is put into the box, and those are cultured. And both the species, Serrata and also Olivacea, both can be cultured. And in 4 to 6 months, you can see Serrata can become up to 1 kg, 900 gram. But Olivacea, its growth is little less, around 400 gram size can be achieved, obtained. And generally the formulated feed or trash fish are put to the individual crab boxes. So more recently, innovative system has also come because during the summer, these all are the floating boxes. It will float on the water surface. So during hot summer, the top water become very hot. So there always there is a problem of crab physiology, and then the crabs also may die. So for that, new innovation has come, developed how to submerge these crab boxes during the hot noon, and then again to bring this in the top. So like that, the structure is made with the pipes, PVC pipes, and what is done in those pipes? Generally, the water is poured. So water is filled. This due to this water weight, the total structure will go down. So it will be submerged. Then again in the afternoon, with the pump, the water is taken out from the pipe, and then again it will come. So as you know, crabs are like amphibians. They need the aerial uh, oxygen also for their respiration. All the time they cannot be inside water. So we should bring in the top also water surface, and then during hot times, these are the innovations. Hot times, those can be submerged. Uh, so now I am coming to brackish water fish culture technologies. So this is sea bass. It is also called as vetki. So there are several phases, different phases, 4 phases for sea bass farming technologies. Starting from spawn to fry, that is one stage. Second stage is nursery phase, that is fry to fingerling. Then pre-grow out phase, that is fingerlings to stocking size. Then grow out phase. So spawn to fry, it is generally done in tank, and it is the hatchery phase. Okay. So hatchery, the larval rearing systems are there with the live feed, and then the fry are slowly, gradually weaned to the dry feed. Then in nursery rearing phase, fry to fingerling. Those are done in different systems, tanks, net cage, in pond also. Pre-grow out, it is in cages and ponds, and for 60 days. So grow out culture will be for 6 to 8 months in pond and also cages. So when we compare any brackish shrimp culture, fish culture, it is compared with the shrimp culture. Shrimp culture generally takes 4 months on an average, even less than that also. So farmers and entrepreneurs, they compare it with the fish culture system. Then fish culture system is compared. Then for the long, if the culture system, total culture system is long, so that is one of the disadvantages why the fish culture methods are not being popularized for brackish system, because fish culture duration is more. So this is the target. If we go for this kind of phased management systems, so within an year, the total culture cycle can be completed. That is, to some extent, it is a better practice. So first, Ibas is nursery rearing. This can be done in Hapa. Hapa system is better because yes, survival is better and also management is better. However, for Sibas, one problem is there, differential growths. So for that, weekly 2 times, they should be graded. In Hapa itself, there will be some bigger ones. Those are called shooters. They can eat away the smaller ones. So those should be removed to get better survival. In pond also nursery rearing is possible. Very small ponds, around 500 square meter ponds, and less than a meter water depth. And the after pond preparation, uh, the ponds are stocked with 20 to 30 numbers per square meter. Then water exchange is also done daily. And here feeding with the trash fish, uh, starting from 100% biomass of the body weight, and it is given 3 to 4 times per day. Then size grading is done weekly once. Then after 4 to 5 weeks, the fry become pindaling around 3 to 5 grams. So when we go for sea bass grout culture, there are several methods. It can be culture at predatory prey culture mode or monoculture. Monoculture. So several trials are conducted in Brackishwater. These are the trials where I was also involved with tilapia and tilapia sea bass culture. Different demonstrations were conducted. So almost the production there was with predatory prey system, production was 1.5 to 2 ton. Then in sewage fed system also, which is mostly the freshwater, the Seabus culture trials was also conducted for East Kolkata wetland, and it has been observed good growth and also good production. However, in freshwater, the growth of the Seabus is little less than the brackish water. And Seabus culture can be conducted, can be performed by using farm-made feed also. So, the feed which is prepared at farm level, those are called farm-made feeds with locally available ingredients. So, for sea bass, for which the seeds coming from the wild, the problem is the weaning of these seeds. Weaning is the process to condition these seeds to accept the artificial feed. So it takes a long time, around 1 and 1.5 months. Sometimes they will not eat for initial few days, but the feed is provided is very low late initially, then slowly when they start feeding, those are given. But the moist feed, which contain mostly trash fish with 80% with wheat flour, and then gradually semi-moist feed is introduced. So Seabass culture using farm-made feed, pellet feed, growth system, several trials were done, and it has been seen also good result, around 2.5 to 3 ton productivity was achieved, and with net income of 2 lakh per hectare. However, there are differential growth was there. The fishes grow from 450 gram to more than 1.3, 1.2 kg. So, but that uh, major group, major group was in the mid range. Generally, it is 750 to 950 gram. So these are some of the pictures. And then at different phases, if we look as I described from nursery, pre-growth, growth, Shibas in nursery it is around 45. It is a very small range, around 2 to 3 gram. Then pre-growth it is up to 150 gram, 130 gram. Then growth phase it is more than kg or more, around 1 kilo size. Next, coming to the another important species. This is mullet. Generally, 2, 3 mullets are there, and mullets have very cosmopolitan distribution all over the world. And the major or highest growing species is Mugincephalus. and it is economically important a species, and this is omnivorous feeding habit. So they can be cultured with other species, good for polyculture, and this is the recently declared as a state fish of Goa. And seed availability naturally generally November to April in southeast and southwest coast, but in east coast it is January to March and July to August. So high demand of fingerlings, especially for West Bengal, for dairy culture. So they generally eat plankton as well as organic matter. Bigger ones, when they grow juvenile and above, they go to the bottom and disturbing the bottom. They get the food. And another things is identification of these mullet seeds. That is one tricky thing. Sometimes those who are first first time doing farmers, they find difficult, and they are mostly cheated by sometimes the seed suppliers. So it is tricky. You can see the head there, that marking on the head. It is easily understandable. The um, peculiar marking and the prominent marking is there on the Bugilcephalus. And here the top one is the Bugilcephalus. You can see the shape of the head. It is broader and bigger compared to other two species. Middle one is Lisa tardi and lower one is the Lisa parsia. So like that they can be identified at field level, and also anatomically also they can be, after dissecting out their pyloric number, those can be identified as a separate different species. So these species also need nursery rearing before broad culture, because our target is the to complete the culture within an year. Um, so initially within 3 months nursery rearing is done, and this is the culture protocol, how the ponds are prepared. Then they can be cultured with verified on system also, the seed rearing protocol, and then food, artificial food feed is also provided. Then verified on the system is better in for 3 months culture it, and the fishes can grow as a juvenile around 20 to 30 gram size. Those are very good for broad culture. And in economics also this system is very good, and because these seeds are sold very at a very high price, per piece 20 to 25 rupees per piece. So these are some of the our works has been published. And then mallet can be grown, can be cultured with traditionally with other fishes, as well as improved method of monoculture. And they take very easily take feed with floating feed as well as sinking feed, no problem, and the production can be achieved as 4 ton per hectare. Then coming to next fish is milkfish, which is important fish, and it is recently given the name as Deccan Hinsha by Central Institute of Fisheries Education, Central Institute of Brackishwater Aquaculture. And this is the national fish of Philippines. And they are mainly the algae eaters, and they also accept artificial feed. And then why milkfish aquaculture is required? Because this is a good species, and globally if you see 2% of the global fish production is milkfish. And recently 4, 5, 6 years back SIBA has developed its seed production technology, and It is like production cost of this species is very low compared to other carnivorous fishes, and it can be an alternative to our seed culture for species diversification. Then milkfish also is reared in pond system for nursery for fingerling production and at high density, 20 numbers per square meter, and feed is also provided. And in 60 days they grow up to 6 to 10 gram size, and those are very suitable size for growth culture. And they are here also these fingerlings are sold at individual price and up to 25 rupees per piece. So pan India demonstration of hatchery produced seed have been conducted and in most of all over the coastal states. And the summary of this is like with the stocking density of 10,000, that is, 8 to 10,000 fingerlings per hectare, the production can be achieved up to 4 ton per hectare. And production cost goes up to 100 to 110 per kg and selling price 150 to 250 per kg. So this is a good fish to popularize in brackish water. And then it can be cultured in both system, monoculture and polyculture system. And polyculture with shrimp and crab and other fishes, other non-carnivorous fishes. Uh, Even there are trial with several trials with our Pineas indicas and Pineas vanami, polyculture of milkfish, and it gave good results. And it is and also milkfish is also known to have antimicrobial effects for their slime. So there are several reports. So maybe polyculture of these fish with shrimp can reduce the microbial load of the water, and thus disease occurrences can be reduced in polyculture system. That is one more advantage. And then if you look at the marketing status of this species, it is starting from 50 gram, even 100 gram size also. They are sold at in Tamil Nadu 60 rupees per kilo, and up to 250, 300 rupees per kilo, up to 1 kilo, 1.5 kilo. West Bengal it is around 152. Farm gate price or wholesale price 150 to 180 rupees. So another brackish-water species catfish, that is brackish-water catfish, Mr. Julio. It is available mostly in the eastern coast, northeastern coast, West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, um, and this is a small and indigenous species, has very high market value, and this seed production technology has been standardized, and they are induced bred with several different hormones, the LH luteinizing hormone, and they are uh, auto spawner after injection. Both male and female are put in the breeding tank, and their eggs are adhesive, and after fertilization, eggs are attached to the egg collector, and then those egg collectors are put separated from the breeding tank and put into the hatching tank. Um, Larval rearing, everything has been standardized. Then farming is also experiments are conducted, and production up to 1 ton per hectare was achieved. And this is a good species, as we know. In Calcutta market, its price ranges from 300 to 600, 700 per kg. So this technology was also transferred to several farmers and also the Department of Fisheries, Andhra Pradesh, by setting up a good hatchery at Krishna district in Andhra Pradesh. Then polyculture is also can be conducted, can be a good venture with brackish fishes, shrimps, and crabs. So these are the species which are suitable for brackish polyculture. Milkfish, grey mullet, then pulse spot, along with the shrimp, our Indian white shrimp, tiger shrimp, white leg shrimp, and mud crab. Several demonstration with the farmer involvement was conducted, and good response and good results were obtained up to 3,000 for 3 ton production and with net income of 2.5 to 3 lakhs per hectare. So these are the several trials of polyculture of brackish fishes and milkfish and banana. And then mud crab and milkfish also can be integrated for polyculture, Stylus serrata. And here feeding for crab generally trash fishes is given for, but for low cost feed is given for milkfish. And uh, up to 50 to 60% survival is achieved for Stylus serrata, and milkfish it is 90 to 100% survival. So this is also a good option for brackish fish culture. Then coming to the new concept of brackish agriculture, periphyton based agriculture. And we know what is periphyton. When any object is put into the water column in the presence of the sunlight, there will be the growth of algae and complex, which is a complex of algae, detritus, and then planktons. This is called periphyton. So this is a good natural food for fish, and several substrate types of things are provided for growth of this, and the best is the nylon net for better growth, white color nylon. So there are several trial milk fish culture was conducted in peripheton system with different surface area. And here also, if we look at the result, up to 4 ton production was achieved with 20% covering of surface area of the pond with peripheton growth. And then there were effort how to quantify this peripheton and then reduce the quantity of feed. So, few experiments were conducted, and with the polyculture system, up to 50 to 100% surface area, Bonsar surface area, was converted to the substrate and with the nylon net. And like this, those substrate were put, and then floating feed was provided for fish and fish. And here result was seen that up to 75% this biomass, 75% of the substrate as a for peripheton production, and they gave the good, better, best result. And up to 30% feed was reduced this system. So that was polyculture. Then in case of milkfish monoculture, this system started from 75% to 125% as a surface area was taken, and those surface area of the substrate was put into the pond, and then milkfish was cultured. And here also, FCR was reduced up to 46% in 125% surface area as substrate. So, so that is the non-conventional method how you can utilize the periphyton for reducing the feed. That is, this is another concept recently, though it is an old concept. Recently, it has been taken up in Brackishwater system, integrated multi-trophic aquaculture. Here our target species, along with our target species, for cleaning of the environment, some other species are also taken. Those are called extractive species. That is mostly the weed as inorganic nutrient absorber, and also organic or particulate matter removal, like bivalves are taken. So several INTA models are there which have been tested all over the world. This is China is a pioneering country in INTA. They mostly see INTA models they have developed. Um, and INTA versus polyculture, if we look at, INTA is a more precision aquaculture because their nutrient efficiency, utilization efficiency is more compared to polyculture. Because in India, several other species are taken for the rectification or remediation of the water. So several trials were conducted there. This is a typical inter and polyculture comparing with polyculture of fishes and shrimps, and also here the extracted species as a oyster, Crassostria protopensis, estuarine oyster, and enteromorpha, the seaweed, uh, was introduced, and results showed that IMTA with better water parameters and also the production was also better. And economic comparison also was better benefit cost ratio from intersystem. So these are some of the snaps from intersystem. This is the oyster put into the ponds in basket. So they are filter feeder. They filter the water and thus improve the water quality. So some of the outcome of the trial, and another trial was conducted here. The same system, but we compared partial inter and full inter with conventional method. In one system, we could only see aquatic weed. Here, aquatic weed is taken water spinach, Iconia aquatica, and same oyster was taken. And in full inter, along with polyculture, these two species were integrated. So here also the full intake was the best result, provided best result in terms of economic returns, heat conversion ratio, production, and the pond dikes were also used for vegetable cultivation. Those gives around 10 to 15% extra income. So this is a good model for Brackishwater aquaculture system. So these are the outcome of that. And now coming to the last part of my lecture, that is Brackishwater ornamental fishes. In Brackishwater system, few species are there which are very beautiful, very nice looking, and those are have good market as ornamental fishes. Spotted scat, Scatopithecus algas, then silver money, then pearl spot, then orange chromid, then another Canara pulse spot. Then recently another species has been introduced, included in that is four bird or four banded tiger fish. It has very high market price in Kolkata market. So spotted cat, already the seed production technology has been standardized, and generally the 2 centimeter size those are marketed, and uh, then modular hatchery for pulse for seed production is also developed, and for production of pulse for seed. And these pulse pod are also having good ornamental value as well as food valuable fish. And another species, beautiful fish, silver money fish. Seed production technology has been developed by Siva, and this is also price is high as ornamental fish. Orange chromid, mainly the male orange chromid develops very good color, and also price is also good, 20 to 30 rupees per piece. Small size, around 2 inch size. And this another pulse spot, this is Canara pulse spot, that is also being promoted for brackish ornamental fish. So if you look at the marketing channel of the ornamental fishes, so farm gate price, then market channel is directly producer go to purchaser, and then purchaser give to exporter or domestic retailer. Also, there are some agent or collector as middleman in the middle also. So these are the three fishes which how their price varies from farm gate to domestic and export market. Spotted cat, orange comic, and the tall spot. So, in conclusion, Brackishwater aquaculture system is a sunrise sector. Only if we look at the resources, around 1.2 million hectare, out of which only around 1.6 lakh hectare has been developed so far. So, it is around 15% hardly developed. So, this is a huge scope for the development of the sector. So that's why it is called sunrise sector, and because the growth rate is very high. And also another issue for the diversification of culture system here is the seed availability of the fishes. So large scale seed production that is lacking in India. So for like Sibas, two hatcheries so far have been developed in India. That is Siba and RGCA, Rajiv Gandhi Center for Aquaculture. So they produce very meager quantity of seeds, so cannot meet up the total demand of the total country. So there is need there for. So recently, Maharashtra government they have established multi-species hatchery, marine hatchery, and also other states are also coming up. So there is a need for this because for one of the problem is establishing this brackish hatchery or marine hatchery. Establishment cost is huge, in crores it comes. So small entrepreneurs they cannot take up. So there should be a big entrepreneur along with the private partner mode, along with the government departments. Uh, so that is the need. Another thing is that these technologies, already available technologies, those can be taken up, and our ICR SIBA has so far signed MOU with the different state government for spreading or transfer of these technologies. And recently we saw another problem now, natural calamity of coastal areas. Every year something, some cyclone, and then tsunami kind of things or water splashing, flooding is going on. So how to cope up with those things to save our crops, brackish water as well as freshwater crops. So for that climate resilient concept, like very short duration culture, so that in a year 2 3 crops can be taken up, and so that the loss can be reduced to some extent. Another thing is that integration of mangrove into the aquaculture, that is integrated mangrove aquaculture, another concept. Few of the works have been taken up, and some projects in southern state and also West Bengal, Sundarban. So those results are very promising. So those kind of concept, more concept, we should implement in coastal area, because we know the role of mangroves in prevention or as a preventive barrier for these kind of calamities. And policy level plus brackish water, our inland, huge inland saline water, those areas can be taken up. And if we look at the many states, brackish water aquaculture systems have not been taken in their state policy for their spreading, for their transfer. So this kind of policy level modification should be there. Even the older state which have taken, still they have not updated the technology with the recent technologies. So these are the some of the issues which need to be addressed for development of British agriculture. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Now,
you.
if there are any interaction, please start. Or there are any questions.
Thank you, sir. Myself, Dr. Sanjeev Shah. I have some query about the crab culture.
Yes, yes.
First question is in mud crab, how do we check the seed quality?
Okay. Actually, mud crab, what is going on in our state, that is mostly from wild seed. Okay, because the hatchery seeds, only one center, that is a Wisdom Center for Aquaculture, they are producing. So when we are getting the seed from wild as well as hatchery, we should check for like external, its external body parts, whether broken or not. Then you have to see this genital flap after opening, whether there are any parasites or not. That is the morphological or external checking. Another thing is some disease. Crabs may be carrier of some of the diseases like
Uh,
WSSB and all.
mhm.
If it
And
is
TBD
integrated
also.
with SIM, that one may be problem. So that molecularly with PCR testing, those can be checked.
And another is that we already told that it is a wild sheet. So how we check the
Hmm.
disease when we collect from the wild? How we check the disease of crablets or the small crab or before the juvenile? This is not how it's possible to assess this disease from when we collect the sheet share the sheet.
Only thing we have to see the any damage or not, external damage, damage of the cheliped, so other other appendages and all. You have to see the damage on the shell also. Okay, exoskeleton. By that, and then after collecting, you have to keep in quarantine for few days in conditioning before putting into the culture pond. So during that time also, if some crabs are unhealthy and some problems are there, they will some show some signs, or some of them will die. So like that you have to segregate. So before
But in
stocking again, you need to do any prophylactic treatment like potassium permanganate bath treatment before stocking.
but
Like
in
that we
case of
generally
seed
follow.
also.
Yeah.
Mhm. And second thing
Yeah,
is
seed
the
also. Seed also.
and second is the which of the more which is the more effective the in case of crab culture, pen, cage or box.
Box is the most effective method
And in not
because it is individual culture. So there won't be any cannibalism. There won't be any problem. There won't be any pollution problem. All these things. So you can get 100% survival.
normally box in for adult when fattening, but in case of seed we also culture in box.
No, no, no. Seed, no, it is not for seed. It is
It
generally
is for
crablet, 20, 30 gram size crablet you have to put into the box for broad culture, for growing the bigger size.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Myself, Miss Sushri Sangita De from ICAR-Central.
Yeah.
Sir, I
Okay.
want to ask. I am from Odisha. So, what are the seed government hatchery for Phineas Bhanami available in the Odisha and nearby West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh?
Odisha, you can see your Ospark is there.
So
Ospark
it
is
is
there,
closed.
and it is closed. Otherwise, you have to look at the Coastal Aquaculture Authority approved list. They have the list. Okay. In their website, you can see. Based on that, you can contact those hatcheries. West Bengal, recently there is one hatchery, Raj hatchery at Tajpur. They are operating. Uh, they are also supplying vitamin C. And Odisha, West Bengal, as I know, most of the seeds come from South, Andhra and Tamil Nadu. So
Uh,
those Benami, it is all are approved hatchery, certified hatchery from CAA. Everybody cannot do enemy hatchery production.
Sir, can you explain me the correct method to disinfect the pond if a disease outbreak is there? For
There is
example, a pond, recently a farmer asked me that his pond was affected by vibriosis, means Vibrio harvey. So now how he has to disinfect the pond? He's having 1 acre pond, each of 5 ponds are there.
So there are some like probiotic treatment for that. He has to follow that, and also with feed some drugs are given to reduce the vibrio load. But if the load is very high, it cannot be controlled. Difficult to control. You need to discuss with the disease expert. I cannot tell in details, but
No,
can
sir.
give you.
His crop has been harvested. I'm asking about the
Okay.
pond preparation.
Post pond preparation.
Yeah, yeah.
Pond preparation now. He has to disinfect the pond with the bleaching powder. Okay, bleaching powder low dose around 20 ppm dose he has to apply in the pond. After that, he has to take the water. And before that, even the bottom soil has to be treated with the lime. And that is the thing. Even the disease pond, before draining the water, it is the water should be disinfected with bleaching powder. So that method he has to follow.
Sir, he was asking some hatcheries, they suggested that to use caustic soda, hydrochloric acid, and bleaching. He was asking that which one is effective. According to my knowledge,
Bleaching powder only. Bleaching powder generally we do in our farm also. So other things I don't know.
hydrochloric
Bleaching powder
acid
is
is,
most effective.
so hydrochloric acid is not suggestible, I think.
No, this is chemical and which may have some future bad impact on the pond bottom and pond environment.
Hello, Dr. Gouranga
Okay,
Biswas.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for a nice presentation.
Yes,
So I have a small question on controlling cannibalism in sea bass and crab. What are the methods used to control cannibalism? Yeah, so
for
what are the
crab,
methods?
generally,
Yes, yeah.
for crab, as I showed that in culture pond you have to put hideouts. So that during molting, those will be the molting crab, they will hide, and like that it can be reduced. For sea bass, in pond culture, we generally go for grading on a monthly interval grading. If bigger size, more than 50% bigger is there, we call out. Okay, like that, that is the management process. Otherwise, no other system is available for pond culture.
Thank you, sir.
Sea bass.
Any other question? Please ask.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, myself Professor Jaising Wanja from Navsari Agriculture University, Fisheries College.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
can you give me some information regarding forest-based fish culture, sea bass and tilapia? Whether it is successful or not? Forest-based fish culture.
Yeah, it is successful. Yeah, it is successful. Tilapia with sea bass, it is successful. Only thing is that you need to have adequate number of brood tilapia in the pond, so that they will produce the fry and fingerling at certain intervals, which will be taken as feed for sea bass. So that is the thing. And also before stocking sea bass, at least 2 months before, you have to stock the brood tilapia. Okay, so that and you need to nowadays there are different like sterile tilapia and all came. So
Yes, sir.
you should be very careful about that. You select the male and female, then satisfy yourself. Then after that you have to stock the brood fishes. Then
But
after
sir,
that, after 1.5 month, 2 months, then you have to stock the seabus for that.
but sir,
So
if
it is possible. It is
is
possible.
there, sir. Sir, in brackish water, tilapia
Yes.
will breed or not, sir? In brackish
Yeah,
water,
up
yes,
to
sir.
10, 15 ppm, no problem. No
10
problem.
to 15 ppm.
Yeah, it
Okay, sir.
breeds also. We
And
saw
sir,
in our farm.
sir, one more question is there regarding milkfish and shrimp polyculture.
Yes.
So many farmers told me that if we are using milkfish with shrimp, then our
Yeah.
cost of production of feed will increase.
Okay. Yes, milkfish is also a voracious eater. Okay, they can eat away the same feed. Uh, but milkfish density we keep very low, around 2.2 number, meaning 2,000 per hectare, not more than that. We are putting milkfish in our culture system. So, like that, it can be controlled. And you need to calculate the feed based on the biomass, both fish and shrimp. No need to give
Yes.
more feed. Okay, as per the
Okay.
feeding schedule, one has to follow that one. So this way it can be reduced. But more milk fish stocking is not advisable.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question, sir.
Yes, please.
Uh, Regarding milkfish marketing, sir.
Yeah,
Earlier, during 2000, I think 2013 and 14,
yeah.
we had supply around more than 1 lakh seed to farmer, shrimp
Yes.
farmer as well as monoculture.
Hmm.
So that time we got around 10 to 15 ton milkfish from Surat region.
Okay.
So that time
Okay.
we don't get any type of marketing. That
Okay.
farmer only got around 60 to 70 rupees. So what is
Okay.
the solution for marketing, sir? If all the farmer are going to in fish culture and they are not getting the price, then how it's possible?
Yeah, that is one more issue because some of the fishes like which are produced in some state, they are locally it is not sold or good
Yes,
price
sir.
is not obtained. Sometimes in other states the price is very high. So before this kind of things, we need to develop the marketing. Even milkfish, if you can send to southern state, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, there is 300, 400 rupees per kg. Andhra Pradesh. So if that marketing channel can be developed, even nowadays this our online system also came
Yes, sir.
Bangalore
Yes.
based. Some they are also purchasing milk fish. So we need to develop that marketing channel. Locally may not be lucrative, but if you can sell to them. And also another thing, when you are going for harvest, don't go for complete harvest. Go for partial harvest. Go
Yes, sir.
for over a month, maybe partial, maybe 10% each day, so that at a time if you take some 1 ton to a market, then automatically the price will come down. That is the marketing strategy of any fish. So that you need to follow.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Any further questions? If not, then we have come to the end of our session. Are there any further questions? I think not, since we have gone way past our time. Thank you. I would want to extend our gratitude on behalf of the participants as well as on behalf of the management and organizing committee. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. It was a pleasure to have you with us. The question answer session and most importantly, the presentation was very nice.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Let's join back tomorrow. Let's join back at 2:30 for the next session. Sorry.